Hello traders and welcome. This is a live trading blog where I trade trading systems such as day trading, swing trading, position trading, and the four horsemen. I upload videos 1 to 3 times a week. And if you'd like to know how I trade these systems, I have links below to the videos. They are all rules-based systems, so it takes human emotion factor out, which is the main thing that's holding beginner traders back from making profits or making real profits. I place my orders in the beginning of the Tokyo session for my four horsemen and day trading. I also place pending orders during the beginning of the month for my position trades, and I also trade the first few hours of the week for my swing trades. Again, more information in the videos, which are in the links below. So we are currently at 12:30 p.m. which is 6.5 hours into the New York session on the 16th of November. It's a continuation video of my last. This is where we're at the moment. I'll go ahead and show you my stats. Right here, nothing has changed since yesterday. This is for the four horsemen. And for the day trading, swing trading, and position trading. So nothing's changed since yesterday, and I'll show you my open positions. Not really much movement. I do have some trade setups coming up. My open positions right now, which is the USD CAD on the swing. Let's go ahead and pull up my swing trading charts. I took it right. Let's see, where are we? I took it right here on the Tokyo Open on Sunday afternoon my time. I've already pulled the stop to break even. The other one is last week. It was the Australian US dollar. Sold it right here. Moved the stop down according to the rules of the system. If you want to see the rules of the system, I also have that link below. The USD CAD took it last week. We're about break even. And the Euro USD that I took last week right here, and we're barely in profit on that one. So a lot of sideways since last week. I do have a couple of orders open for the four horsemen. I did breach central pivot on the Euro CAD, so I pulled down my stop and reduced risk. This was my big missed opportunity. I got the alert, ran to my, woke up, jumped out of bed early this morning, jumped to my charts, and I was preoccupied with moving my stop on the Australian yen that by the time that we pulled back from the Euro yen, because it had moved so fast, I couldn't get that entry. So I still have a pending order there. I have a tight stop on it because we already did reach the central pivot point. So that's that. So a couple of missed opportunities. And for my day trading, what do I have set up so far? Okay, for my day trading, my Euro yen will have to pop up above the central pivot. It looks like it may be a possible setup for tomorrow. The CAD yen, I already have the trade set up over here. This is very close to the weekly M2, so I have a trade set up here. So if we go in sideways, I'll be taking it somewhere right inside this zone right here, which would be the midpoint between central pivot and M2. For the Australian yen, I did have my trade set up and bounce off central pivot. We did reach the red zone, so I will be taking it tomorrow, which would be later today, but it'd be tomorrow's pivots. For the pound yen, I need to pull back above the thick black line, which is the weekly central pivot, in order to take the trade, in order for that to be a valid trade setup, because I don't have a bounce off the M2, so it's going to have to bounce off the weekly central pivot. For the pound dollar, I don't quite consider this bouncing off of M2. It would have to have come down further to bounce off M2. However, if we breach the weekly central pivot then and bounce off that, then maybe it's a setup for tomorrow. I do have a setup on the Australian US dollar, and we reached the red zone, so we're going to be buying it in tomorrow, which is later today, which is tomorrow's pivots, right in this zone right here. I don't trade the USD CAD. Didn't perform well with stats. I do have a trade set up on the Euro US dollar, the bounce on the central pivot, and if we since we reached the red zone, I'm going to be setting up my entry between M2 and central pivot. So that's that, and I'm going to go ahead and pause the video, and whenever I have updates I'll record again. It is 2:50 p.m. so it's about 10 minutes before the end of the New York session. I'm just going to mark out some of the setups here. Just pulled back above central pivot, so I have a setup with the central pivot. This is tomorrow's box zone in here, so it looks like we may be going sideways in, so I'm going to be taking it right down in here. I have the setup for the CAD yen. This is the box for tomorrow, and it looks to me as if we may be opening on top, so we're going to be taking this at the central pivot. And let's take a look here. I do have a setup on the Australian yen. We went up to the red zone, so we're going to be taking it down between the central pivot, the daily central pivot, and the M2. Haven't broken above central pivot on the pound yen. Same thing on the pound dollar. Because we hit the red zone on the Australian US dollar, I'm going to be taking between the M2 and the central pivot. No trading on the USD CAD. And we did hit the red zone for the Euro USD. I will be taking it between the M2 and central pivot. So we have 7 minutes left. We are about 30 seconds out until the end of New York, and these pivots will lock in at that point. You can see the spread is going to get real wide. Okay, pivots are locked in. Oops. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this stop below the S1. And put the target all the way up at R2. Okay, and we reached the red zone, so I want to buy about the midpoint here. A little bit less than the midpoint. The same locations for my stop and my take profit. Okay. And let's see what else. I have the Australian yen as well. Same thing, reached red zone, so we're going to take it. Yeah, about here is good. Just below S1 for the stop. Okay, nothing on the pound yen, nothing on the pound dollar. I do have a setup here on the Australian US dollar. Same thing. Okay. Just below S1. Really good spot right there. All right, and the euro dollar. Okay, there we have it. Let me go ahead and pull up all the pending orders here. So we have 5 new pending orders. I'm going to go ahead and write this down in my book. So what I want to do real fast is I want to verify each of my targets. Let's go to the euro yen. Okay, and I will bring up okay, it's about the average size on that, so that's fine. CAD yen. Gives me all the back days that I need on here. So let's put actually 10 on this. Okay, this one's about average size as well, that's fine. Next is the Australian yen. Okay, it's about average. Australian US dollar. 10 periods. Okay, it's definitely a smaller. It's been past few days, several days now. It's been a lot of the small pivot ranges. This is my take profit here, I believe. I'm going to move it up to the M5. Okay. Actually, that's still there, 3. Yeah, it's still not very much. Okay, and the Euro USD. Bring it out to 10 periods as well. Same thing here. Take profit. I'm going to have to raise you. Okay. It is 5:34 p.m. Still the 16th of November, and I just had the Euro Yen by day trade trigger, and we're going to go ahead and take a look here. I still have the other 4. It looks like the CAD Yen is about to trigger. Alright, here we go. Set up for the CAD Yen, and then the other 3, the other 2. Good morning, traders. Thank you for letting me screw my head on straight this morning. It's 2:17 a.m. Got my coffee in my left hand. Got my mouse pad in my right. FX life, baby. Just like you see in those commercials of those people who are trying to sell courses who probably never traded a day in their life, driving down the road in their rented BMW, saying FX life, baby. All right, let's go to my day trade. First time I'm taking a look at the charts. I took a peek about 20 minutes ago when I got up, but first thing I had to go do is go make some coffee. All right. Okay, let's see. Our bounce for the pound was a London sesh bounce. Let's go ahead and mark this box out here. There's a box M2 to pivot point daily. This one, let's go ahead and drop a. Okay, we're spread. I'm gonna put you on standby. All right. Okay, modify. See what I did there. Put the stop low. That's one. Okay, so I'm going to show you something here. First of all, I need to see how far away that target is. It is 93. My average is Average was 166. Sorry. What does that bring us up to? I need to get at least, you know, close to my average. Okay, that's better. Okay, so what happened here? We bounced off central pivot on the weekly. In fact, let's see what's going on here. I can actually bring this down slightly because my daily central pivot is lower. Okay, so right here. Okay, perfect. Okay, so let me pull out my little drawing tool here. Yep, so this was the bounce. Looking for, hopefully price can come back. Maybe it's going to be like in some sort of a sideways, something like that. maybe not exactly like that, but yeah, maybe some sort of a sideways channel, but it looks like it's taking off now. Once we get into this zone right here, I'm going to remove this pending order. Alright. So let me, I'm going to pause this because I need to write down in my book. Alrighty. Australian, US, okay, let me drag this on over. Australian US dollar is still pending. We didn't quite make my entry. Still pending. And let's see here, Euro USD. Ooh, came close. Did not quite hit my entry. In fact, yeah, okay. Okay, so I'm gonna talk about something here. So this right here, going in the red, calls for an M2. We got it. Price pulls back above the weekly central pivot. Sorry, the daily central pivot. Once we hit the M2, it calls for, or once we hit the red, it calls for the M2. This is the daily pivot zone right in here. Okay, this is M2, that's central pivot. Once we pulled back above central pivot, this whole move right here is a reset. But we hit the red again in here. So instead of buying it at central pivot, because we hit the red again, we needed another reset. Okay, and it didn't quite make it there. Alright, so we still have the Euro USD. Now, let's get into my Euro Yen. Right here. Okay, so Euro Yen did trigger. And I'm going to need to transfer the Euro Yen, the CAD Yen, and the Australian Yen in my logbook. Okay, and I have another setup. Possibly, as soon as we break above the central pivot and the daily central pivot on the pound yen. So they give me the alert. Give me that alert. Right, there we go. Let's take a look. The swing trades. Nearing. Okay, so I had my sell right here at M2 for the week. and I had my sell last week for the Euro USD. I had my sell last week, and it looks like I'm just about to get stopped out on the Australian USD. And that's it. EuroCAD struggling, and we are sitting at break even on the Australian yen. That's our update. It's 3:27 a.m. We are 2 hours and 27 minutes into the London session. I did hear an alert. Yes, it is my pound yen, and it was looking like it's starting to set up here. So it's speaking above. We do have to get a few candle closes above the box here. One thing that I do see is that my pound US dollar has reached the red zone, so that is going to call for me to lower my entry on that and adjust my stops and take profits. We'll keep you updated on the pound yen. All right, looking at the pound yen. It's 5:02 a.m., 1 hour before the New York session, and I will place my pending order. This is 2 pips. Place my stop. And take profit. So that's 111 pips. My average win is 171. $140. Okay. All right, it's 5:12 a.m. So we're still about 40 minutes away from the open, and it looks like my pound yen just triggered for my buy entry. And there she is, right there. Still struggling with the EuroCAD on the Four Horsemen. Australian yen possibly might take a go at the central pivot point during this New York session, hopefully. Again, that big missed opportunity on the Euro yen. Not happy about. Sitting break even on a lot of things right now. I'm gonna move this on over to, because I know all my yens are all in, and I have pending orders right now on my dollar pairs, so I'm gonna move this over to my dark charts. There we go. This is still the same boxes, just dark background. And I don't have the midpoints in here, but these are my profit taking zones. Waiting for the New York Open. Just trying out some royalty free music, background music here. Turn it down a little bit. See if YouTube picks up on it. I may have to delete out this section if they do. Yeah, fun little update. I have Bitcoin here reaching 17,000. It's been on a tear. It is 6:08, so we're 8 minutes into the New York session, and it looks like we may take a hit here on our EuroCAD trade. Coming real close to it. Aussie yen looks like it wants to make a go for central pivot.
Alert, alert, alert.
All right. All right, so it's 6:12 a.m., 12 minutes in, and we got knocked out of the EuroCAD. Thanks to my alert, it tells me to get out of these pending orders here. And thanks to central pivot allowing me to pull down my stop loss and reduce risk, it was not very much of a stop out. And what was Sunday? Because that was entered on Sunday. That was on the 15th. EuroCAD. So EuroCAD hasn't been doing very well lately. I mean, we had a strong start, but things can change on that. There we go. Okay, so we just took a hit on the CAD yen. Let's go ahead and bring that up. My royalty-free music I'm playing here. All right, there's our CAD yen. This is a day trade. And this is number 8614. And it's going to be for what's going on here? Oh, now I'm moving everything over, huh? Let me pause this and fix everything. Alright, looks like we've got everything situated here. Getting some movement right now. Minus 304. Alright, what else we have going on? Oh wow, our Australian looks like it did make it go for central. We'll have to pull that up. Am I close to any stops right now? Australian yen on the day trade. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on over. Here we go. It looks like we're pretty soon here. We're going to make it go for central pivot. We're pretty close to it right now. Okay, I just got an alert. and it looks like it's coming from my Australian yen. So as soon as we get peered through this central pivot here,
Alert,
there we go.
alert, alert.
Alright, so let's go ahead and remove this, and this will allow me to reduce my risk, not by a whole lot because I do have that candle wick right there. And let's go ahead and drop all my take profits, but first I'm going to set an alert up here. That way I know if price is coming up to my stop out zone. Alright, time to place all my take profits. Let's see what our spread is. 2.4 pips, is that right? 1.8. So we'll bring this about 3 pips above. And that gives me a price of 75,562. This is going to be a third, so it's 1,200 units. It just gave me the price. Hold on 1 second. 75,574. Oh, whoopsies. $0.54. All right, and the final target. $74,561. And I want to place my alert right about here. That way if we do reach this zone here, I want to remove my risk all the way to break even. And what this means is that we took a stop on the Australia. Let's go ahead and pull up. I have a couple of things to unpack here. First of all, I just took a stop on the Australian yen day trade. Small stop. Now it's going to be minus 266. And this is order number 8689. And I do have a new entry on the Australian Euro USD. Let's get this in order. Oh, it's in the dates. There it is. So this is going to be my 8726. Right, I'm going to remove this trade setup. And this trade setup. This is no longer a trade setup. Alright, so today is just one of those days where the setups don't work, and I took another small loss on the Euro Yen. This number 8529. Those are the open positions, so pretty much break even on everything at the moment. Alright, so it's 10:20 p.m. on the 17th, which is Tuesday, November 17th. And I'm going to go ahead, and since I don't have any trade setups or anything, I'm going to go ahead and end this video here. Thanks for tuning in. I'm going to immediately start recording my next video. So subscribe and don't miss the next video.